Okay, let's talk about your inventory section. I figured I'd go through a detailed video to kind of help you out here. So basically, we got a couple of dummy posts and the start of two of the posts. Excuse me, the aircraft that you've given me so far. So for the most part, we fill out one section in the back end of WordPress, and then what will happen is it'll populate here in these sections right here, whether it's the price or the link or the bullet points or so forth and so forth. So the first thing we want to do is make sure obviously we're in the admin. And on the left side we're going to see a section called Aircraft Inventory. Okay, so to add a new one, obviously we just click add a new one, but I need to show you how this is built and kind of start from the one that's already been set up so you can kind of see how it works. Now it's going to be a little tough to understand in the beginning. There's a lot of different sections to fill in. If we click this, we got multiple images and titles and prices and text and charts over here and a download spec PDF and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, let's check out the 9108, is we have our text. So if you have any text, and this is half the reason why I kind of didn't do a whole lot, because from the mock-up to what you guys sent me, there's some differences, and I just have a lot of questions, and as opposed to me going in and asking you all these questions, it's best that you see it and maybe come in here and set it up on your own, or maybe remodify how you're listing it. Okay, so this text, if you put any text right in here, it's going to show up in this section right here, and if we come back, it won't be here. So it's only going to show up, excuse me, wrong button, in this little description. Okay, so you really didn't have that, so I had no idea what to do. The system too is set up for 4 thumbnails, so you're going to have at least 4 images to upload aside from the main big image. With that being said, let's start with the actual title, the image, and the price. Okay, so if we're on the actual inventory page, we'll see a small thumbnail like these, and if we click it, we got the big one. Well, that's actually one image, which is featured image. It's one image. The system is going to automatically crop it, so it's important when you're uploading your image that you have the right size. And you can see the issue with that when you look at this one, where I don't even know, this K320AO or whatever it is, this Russian helicopter. You have a smaller image, and look what happens. It doesn't fill the whole space. Kind of goofy looking. Also, if we don't have all the images, you get this. So the system's built on that base model that we originally set up to have a minimum of information. Okay, so that takes care of that. So if we set up, I'll even show you how this featured image works. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one, and we'll kind of start from scratch, so to speak. We're gonna click the new listing. Excuse me, new listing. We click featured image. With the pop-up box, you can grab it from your computer just by hitting select, and then you'll get this. It shows all your files on your computer. But for this particular example, I'm just going to show you from the gallery, which we're already pulling from. And let's see, I believe it might be image 1. If you ever pull from gallery or media library, you're going to have to do it this way. Click show. Let's see, 880 pixels. That's maybe it. Okay, I think that's it. So scroll down, we'll see the section, use as featured image. Click this. It's going to say done. Close it out. Let's go ahead and click update. Make sure it's correct. Let's come back to this page. And there we go. Okay, pretty easy. Now, this title right here, that's in the page title, is the main title of the aircraft. That's what you see right here. All right. Now, here's when we get into the nitty-gritty, the little bit of confusing. So in the beginning, you're probably going to have to reference this. You're going to have to come back to an already existing listing to kind of keep up with it. First thing you'll see is what's called excerpt, and that's this right here. Now, what I do want to point out is excerpt and custom fields is a section that might not show up. So if you come in here into WordPress and you're like, hey, I don't see anything that says excerpt, I don't see anything that says custom fields, no problem. Up here on the right, see screen options. Click that, and just make sure it's checked. So if I uncheck these, those boxes won't show up. So make sure those are checked. Okay, excerpt is for your bullets. So these bullets that we see here, and we also see on the listings page, the pre-details page, this right here, those are those bullets. So pretty easy. For every line item, you click it, enter it, enter, enter it, enter, enter it, enter. That's it. Nothing else to do. Now what we get into is called custom fields, and this is a little bit trickier because there's just more information you have to enter. So we've broken down each individual section. So if we look at, let's see, inventory image 1, 2, 3, and 4, what that actually is, excuse me, wrong one. What that actually is this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And I'm going to come back to these a little bit later, but I just want to point out what each one of these things does. We're going to scroll down there, and we're going to see inventory landings. Now, side note, when you make these do not have to be in this order. They could be in any random order. This just happens to be how this is set up. Okay, so back to inventory landings. Here's your field, your number that you enter, 1260. So if we look at this, landings, 1260. The next one below that, we'll see the PDF link, the inventory. That would be the download for here. Next one we'll see is inventory price. Just enter the price. That, of course, is this number that shows up here, as well as the listing page here or wherever we actually are right now. Okay. Inventory serial number, obviously you guys know what that is. That would go in here. Your total time, same thing, total time, that fills that in. Now if you leave these blank, it's going to still show up, but these fields will be empty. Okay? That pretty much runs the gamut for that. So to add these, if you're creating a new post, if we come to, let's actually go to a different post. Let's go to the helicopter, because I'm pretty sure I left that half done. So helicopter, I have only a few of these. I don't have them all. So if I want to add one, let's see, PDF we don't have. So I'll hit this drop down. Now I have a list. So where's PDF? PDF link. Hit it, come to this field, type out your link. It wouldn't look like this. This is just a sample. Then go ahead and hit add custom field again. It's going to save it in case you need to add another one, or you can just directly hit update. Alright, to delete it, just click delete, update, and then we're set. Okay, let's go back to the one we're working on. Now trust me, I know this is a lot to work with, but after a couple times it'll be fairly routine for you. Let's go back down here. The important thing I want to point out is this for the inventory, the PDF link and your images. How are we getting that information? Pretty easy, actually. We can do, if we go to media, we can look at images you've already uploaded, the library. So if we hit library, let's say we're coming into that to add that, we can click an image or click this. And then what are we going to have right here? We have the actual URL. That's so you can copy that entire URL, paste it in there. But what you see we have is we just have WP content and then the rest. So we don't need the whole URL. That's up to you. We just do it this way because it just makes sense to us. It's easier. You don't need the whole thing and boring stuff. But for the most part, to make it easy on you, when you're in this section, now I've lost the inventory. Here we are. You don't have to come into the media library. I'm just kind of showing you another area to grab it. But if you're in here already and you're like, oh, I need my image for here, what you can do is click the upload insert, grab a file from your computer. Okay, so let me see if I can find a generic image that we can actually use here. Hopefully something that's not too big. Little kid with his how about some ice cream? There we go. So if I open this, I'm just going to go ahead and add it and upload it. Here we are. You'll see link URL. And what you'll see right here, this is the main important information. Right here. That. So we can actually copy that, or the whole link, whatever's easier for you. Okay. Now we don't have to, this is normally for inserting a post, but we've already uploaded it, so all we got to do is X out. It's now added to your library. come back down here, inventory image 1, and then you would just simply paste it in. As simple as that for those 4. That pretty much covers how you're going to update these specific sections. The other one would be the featured and the sold. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I had to stop for a second. Okay, so if we look on the front end, we've set up a cool little feature that I could say, hey, we've sold it, or hey, this is a featured item. We don't see featured now because I've changed it. Both say sold, but maybe we want this copter to be featured. Maybe you're going to charge listers extra for them to have this little featured ribbon. All right, so what we do is we add a custom field called inventory type. Right now I have sold, so that shows sold. If I change this to featured, update it, refresh, it says featured. Okay, so that does it. Now let me make something clear. This does not add any text you want. You can't just type in a random word and then it's going to show up in there. So I don't want you to think you can do that. We're actually we're giving it a line of code and it's appearing. Okay, so don't think you could type happy or great airline or something. It's only sold and it's only featured. That's the only 2 items that will work in this. If you don't have an inventory type whatsoever, you just won't have a ribbon like you see here. There's no ribbon because we haven't entered that field in there. Okay, I think that's it. Let me check really quick to make sure I haven't missed anything. And that's about it. And again, I apologize. I would have filled this in for you, but just from your PDFs and the breakdown and the verbiage and how it's varying from this, to be honest with you, I have no idea what's going to go where or where you want to go to put it. So as opposed to going back and forth of what goes where, what listing shows up, here, I thought it would be easier if we set this up. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.